Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about depression and feeling low during a spiritual journey and how we can really cultivate these low feelings into more of something to look at as a benefit and a gift rather than to see them as a burden and something we just want to get rid of. As always, I'm going to share my personal experience with this. So today we had like a later Thanksgiving dinner because it was the best time we could get everyone together basically. And when I say everyone, I'm just talking about my parents, my grandpa from my mom's side, and my grandma from my dad's side. And usually at these, as of recently, at these type of get-togethers, I am more of a ball of light. I like to really try to shine a light on people and like to bring a lot of joy and happiness to the room. And I like to just be more, just be real positive and just have a lot of fun, right? But if you watched my last video, you know that recently I've dived down into the darkness, and I'm more trying to alchemize my darkness right now and to let go of some older subconscious patterns. And so today, for example, as we were all getting together for dinner, I just did not feel like myself at all. I had a little bit of anxiety, no real, positive emotion, no real good vibes to speak of. And I was just sitting there beating myself up like, I can't really give right now. I felt like I couldn't really give. I was sitting there thinking I can't bring joy to anyone. And I just started feeling really worthless, And I started just kind of believing my thoughts about the situation, which when we're feeling low, believing our thoughts is not something we want to do. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I like literally just kind of had to get up and excuse myself for a little bit, because I just was feeling so off, and I felt like I was like taking away even like from the energy, even like I was like, I'm just gonna be better off if I can just be alone right now. But then I talked to my beautiful and insightful friend Katsura. I'm gonna put her channel here or here somewhere, and I highly recommend you check her out. She does amazing and beautiful videos that are so filled with love and inspiration. But anyway, and then I talked to her and I shared this with her, and she gave me the wisdom that being in more of a depressed and lower state actually has a lot to offer. You offer grounding to others. You offer a different type of value. And I was like, oh, that's right. Why am I getting so hung up on that I need to be a certain way in order to be of value to others, in order to be somebody that's able to give? Why do I feel like I need to fit a certain mold, right? Or be in a certain emotional state? Goes back to one of my main dilemmas and challenges on this spiritual path, which is the tendency for me to cling to the light. And it's still something I'm working through as I'm revealing in this video. Is during this dinner, I was really trying to cling to the light, and I was resisting what was. I was resisting that I was feeling a little anxious and a little bit of the darkness coming up. I was resisting that I was in a little bit lower of a state, and this only made it worse, and it only made it harder for me to interact with others, because when we're in a state of resistance, that comes through. A lot of times when we're communicating with others, it's not necessarily that we're in a high vibe mood or that we're like super joyful. Are we in resistance or are we not? If we're just being authentic and free of resistance, that goes a long way, regardless of if you're in a higher or lower mood. But it's obviously a lot more challenging to not resist when we're in our darkness than when we're, fully in our light. And that was to me such valuable insight, and I found it so inspiring what Katsura shared with me. I found it so just like a light bulb went off, like, oh yes, of course there's value in being in a lower state and being like in this maybe a temporary depressed state. I mean, it is winter after all here. It's been dark and cloudy and gloomy. And we tend to go with the seasons. We tend to go with the cosmos a lot. And so some of this is out of our hands. And what is in our hands though is, are we going to resist these feelings? Or are we just going to let them pass through? Like clouds, like I've used this example maybe before, but like clouds through a blue sky, and I just wanted to hop on and share this experience with you guys in case you're going through some lower emotions as winter approaches, or maybe if you're somewhere like me, it's been winter for 2 months. That I just want to get across, we do have value when we're in a lower state, and we do have something to give, and we do have something to share. It just might be a little bit, it might not look exactly like our ego or our spiritual ego or our mind wants it to look. Maybe sometimes that's what's being called for from those around you. Isn't the joy and the light? Maybe what's being called for is your grounding presence. Maybe what's being called for is you being an example to others of having no resistance to your darkness. And that, in a way, frees them to have no resistance to their darkness. And it can just be a more authentic environment that you can help cultivate even when you're feeling low. So I thought this was really just impactful for me. And it was just like a light bulb went off. Like, if you have watched my Embrace Your Darkness while going through a spiritual awakening, I'll put that here too. That's one thing I always go back to on this journey is, Matt, stop clinging to the light, allow the darkness up. This is a evolutionary reality that takes the light and the dark, the yin and the yang. So allow yourself to alchemize this darkness by not suppressing it and by not resisting it and by allowing it up and allowing yourself to feel it. And you'll start realizing how much value the darkness really does have, not only for your own self-realization of who you really are, but even for those around you. Your darkness, as it comes up, if you're not resisting, can really allow you to give so much. So I hope you guys got out of this exchange with Katsura what I did about just how we are still of value even in a lower state. And it's the spiritual ego that tells us otherwise. But that's just not real life here on planet Earth, right? There's going to be light and there's going to be dark. Thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Namaste.